Hey, what's up, y'all? Today I'm gonna be going through the Common Hoops Beast Outdoor Basketball Buying Guide and just giving you my opinion on the basketballs that made it onto the list. Now, I'm actually brand new to the Hoops Beast team, and I'm gonna be in charge of the video side of things. And I just thought that this would be way more interesting than telling you my favorite basketballs, because I think it's all pretty subjective anyway. Like all the major brands, they're producing good basketballs, and it's not like you're buying a washer or something, right? It's gonna ultimately come down to personal preferences. All right, so first things first, let's talk about um outdoor basketballs for a second. And if you've ever used one, you'll know that they don't feel as good as a proper indoor basketball like the Wilson Evolution or Nike Elite Championship. Which, by the way, I do see a lot of people using indoor basketballs outside. I've done it myself, and it's definitely something you can do. But just remember that you are paying like twice as much for an indoor basketball, and it's gonna wear out twice as fast. So, in general, I'd say you're better off going with a outdoor basketball if you're playing it outdoors. And when it comes to outdoor basketballs, there are two main types, right? You've got the rubber basketballs. These are the cheap ones that seem to last forever, but just don't feel good to play with. And then you've got the composite leather ones, which feel much closer to an indoor basketball, but they usually cost a bit more. Um, and for the most part, you want to go for a composite leather one, because they have a more consistent bounce and feel softer. They're more tacky compared to a rubber one. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the list and see which basketballs made it to the top. And so, at number one, at number one, you got the Wilson Replica NCAA game basketball. And yeah, I've seen it. I've seen this a lot outside. It's a pretty popular ball. And yeah, I think this is a solid choice. Wilson's got to be the biggest basketball brand right now. And this is one of the more expensive indoor outdoor balls that borrows from the Wilson Evo NXT series. So you also get the pebbled seams, which means there's more consistency across the surface. Overall, it's a pretty great ball, and I can see why this would be um, number one on the list. All right, so let's see what we got at number two. We got the Spalding Zi. Now, yeah, this is probably one of my all-time favorite basketballs, just because it's one that I've used a lot on many occasions, and I feel like the Zeo Ball has been out like for a long time. Like it's evolved a lot. Um, and yeah, so it looks like this one is the newest one, so it doesn't have the NBA branding, uh, whereas my one does. As far as like the actual ball itself, I don't know if it's the same as the one I've used, but if it is anything like it, then it's probably my favorite indoor outdoor basketball. Although, I mean, the NCAA replica is also really good. So it's kind of a toss up between the two. But yeah, I'd probably put this as my number one pick. So for number three, we've got the Wilson NCAA Wave. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never played with this basketball. I don't think I've even seen one in real life. And apparently it's no longer available. But I have to admit, there's something really cool about this basketball. So basically, it's got these kind of small grooves on the panels, and what they're designed to do is make it give you even more control over the ball when you're handling it, and makes it easier to palm as well. Um, so it's kind of a shame to see it go, because I like when you get these basketballs that are doing something slightly different. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to try it out for myself. And then at number four, we got the Nike Elite World Court. And this one's a pretty interesting one because unlike the other ones that are made from composite leather, this one's actually got a rubber blend. So it's 85% rubber and 15% synthetic leather. So it leans much more heavily to the rubber side of things. And yeah, that sounds like bad on paper, but from what I understand, is it feels much better than a 100% rubber basketball, and yet it's also got uh, the durability you get with a rubber basketball. So I don't think this is something I would pick, but if you really value that durability, um, then this actually makes a lot of sense. So what's next? We got the Molten X Series GM7X. So the thing with Molten basketballs is that they feel pretty different from like all the other major brands. So you don't get the traditional 8 panel design. Instead, you got this interesting 12 panel design, which handles a bit differently, in my opinion. And like I know a lot of people who really like the way the Maltons feel, and some people just don't like them. So it's kind of an interesting basketball, one that you probably want to try out in the store, or at least like borrow from a friend who has one, because you might not like it. Um, but as far as like uh, the grip and stuff, it's a really solid basketball. One thing I did notice when I played with these balls is that the seams seem run kind of shallow. So if you're used to like these deep seams, and you're comfortable with that, uh, it might take a while to get used to one of the molten balls. So then, and number six, we got the Honor Armour 495. And I think the thing with Honor Armour is that, are they even making basketballs anymore? Because I haven't seen one in a while, right? Like they got that big Steph Curry deal, and they're definitely like enrolled in basketball, but uh, it seems like they're not really in the game of producing actual basketballs, and it's a sad thing, but at the same time, I don't feel like their basketballs were like anything special. Like they were good, but they weren't like Malta, and they weren't creating anything different, and it's just like another basketball that's doing the same thing. So yeah, it probably makes sense. But if you find one of these and it's cheap or something, yeah, it's definitely a pretty great ball. And finally, the Chance Premium Indoor Outdoor Composite Leather Basketball. And apparently this one is definitely for those looking to be different, with almost every other ball spotting the same old orange and black color scheme. It's hard to be excited about the aesthetic of any of them. So yeah, this one is designed for like the ones that those of you who really care about how your basketball looks. Um, but you know, it says here the ball lets itself down by failing to hold there well. And yeah, so you're always taking a chance when, oh, yeah, you're taking a chance when you're buying from these brands that are slightly well less known and probably don't have the same manufacturing capabilities as the biggest sporting brands. Uh, and then yeah, we've also got some other notable mentions. Now I'm not gonna go through all these basketballs, but you should definitely check the buying guide out. It has some interesting ones, including the new NBA Forge, which is the indoor outdoor basketball from Wilson. That's actually the best selling uh, basketball on Amazon right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I do hope to make more videos like this, or maybe something a little different soon. So uh, be sure to like and subscribe, and also leave a comment if you've used any of these basketballs or feel like anything you wanted to be mentioned. Comments, I really appreciate them. So yeah, just leave a comment.